What's going on, everybody? My name is Cody and welcome to a more of a special video for me. I was just trolling eBay, just looking for some good deals on some Nintendo 64 stuff, and then I came across something I've been hearing about a lot recently about reproduction cartridges and how to identify them and make sure you're not going to get ripped off on anything. Now, there's some criteria here that is pretty easy to spot, and I've got Conker's Bad Fur Day up as an example to pop up, and right away there's a bunch of red flags if you're a collector of Nintendo 64, what to look for. And let's see, there we go. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get this started. Now, I have the legitimate game right here, and we're going to go through every single thing I see that's wrong with this thing, and it should be very, very obvious. First of all, this game came out in 2001 on the Nintendo 64, and by that logic, this game has seen pure hell, obviously. I got it from a Blockbuster when I was about 12 years old, so this one has been in my possession ever since 2001, 2002, somewhere in there. So less than 20 people have rented this cartridge and played it. Probably maybe 5-6 people by the time I got my hands on it, if not less, because it was an obscure title. We actually bought it. I didn't even bother to rent it. I'm pretty sure we bought it, and I got it during summertime when I was 11, 12 years old, like I said. So I've had a lot of time getting acquainted with this cartridge. I've played this game more than pretty much anything else, even more than Banjo-Kazooie. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through this page, and I'm going to, like I said, just completely destroy this thing. And there is some merit to this, but we'll get to that later. So, yeah. First of all, the first things you'll notice that are wrong. Just follow my mouse here. So, we're talking Nintendo 64. Okay. Game. Fine. Conker's Bad Fur Day. Title, good. Video game cartridge. Console card USA. What in the hell is that? A console card. If it was a legitimate title, it would say Game Pack, which is what Nintendo cartridges are actually called, especially in the US. Like, it's flat out Game Pack. So we're going to go ahead and say that's messed up. Item condition, brand new. That's wrong. They got more than 10 available, and 7 sold, which means they had to buy this thing in bulk and knowing full well that they'd be able to sell this for any amount they want. The price point is a red alert right there, because this game, especially loose, is at least $80 in most cases, and then the complete inbox is well over $150 in most cases, if not higher, depending on the quality of the box, the paperwork, if it's got the inserts, the promotional cards, all that kind of stuff. We've got, again, it says new condition, which is impossible for this game because the game has been around for 16 years, and chances are someone's played it, and that's just wrong. Came from China, so that's another flag for you. And we can go ahead and go over to this enlarged view. So let's go ahead and examine this cartridge a little bit closer. So what we got here, at first glance you wouldn't really notice. Alright, so that being said, I could tell right away that this is a reproduction label because of the fact that it doesn't have the actual shimmer of a Nintendo 64 cartridge, which, if you can see on this cartridge right here, even though this cartridge has seen pure hell when it came to how it was stored, all that kind of stuff, because it was a rental cartridge, like I said, if you look, it's still fairly glossy, even at light. And if we do pretty much similar light conditions, there's still a reflection to it. So that's a red alert. That shows that it is a reproduction label, and you can also, right here, you would see a very light indentation, which is common on pretty much all Nintendo 64 games. Even this one has one, but I could grab, like, say, my copy of Rayman or Rayman 2, whichever one I want to grab, and you should see a very light indentation on these, and they're typically on the back label, but since I don't show the back label, that's another one. Like, if you're trying to sell one of these, if you go on eBay, you're going to see both sides of the cartridge, and they'll say, okay, this right here can actually significantly reduce the cartridge value. And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll buy an older game, take the back off of it if it's in decent shape, like it's a sports title, nobody gave a damn about it, so they threw it away. Basically, they'll take the security screws out, replace the back. I actually did this with some of my games. Like, I had 2 copies of Ocarina of Time. One of them was fried, so I harvested the battery out of it. I kept all the chips and stuff. I just took the battery out, and then I took the circuit board out of the case and put my good copy into the good case. And even then, that still keeps it original because they were made the same time, same assembly line, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, moving on from that, you can see with this cartridge, most likely, if this thing focuses real quick. Let's see. Nah, damn it. Okay, so I'm trying to show you the quality of the plastic. Alright, if you can see that, you can see that there is like this grainy texture to the cartridge. So, that being said, we have a cartridge here that, for a 16-year-old game, it's brand new. And this plastic is a little bit off. The color is a little bit off. Nintendo 64 games had specific types of color, and if you have a good enough eye, you can see it. This color is the official color, and certain games, they discolor over time. I got a copy of Banjo-Kazooie that I had to buy as an emergency because I lost my good copy somewhere around here, and it discolored. And this game, if it's not taken care of, any of these games, their labels discolor, their case discolors, all that kind of stuff. Now, moving on, we will go to, say, again, we already know the labels, Reproduction, but if you see right here where it says official Nintendo seal of quality, if you are good enough with your eye, you can even see, with Conquer especially, that is a shiny seal of quality sticker. It has a little bit of kind of a shimmer to it if you look at it close enough, and it's a little bit more golden in color. If you look at this copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day here, this is a little bit more lighter. It's a lighter kind of thing going on. So there's that. And then if we go here and we look at the circuit board, that is a dead giveaway to me because I collect 64 games. I have over 50 of them, 50, 60 of them. And that color is wrong. Even after all this time, the circuit boards are going to stay the same color. Now, the reason I'm just looking at Conker is because it's a rare title. And if you can see, I've got a little bit of degradation on my circuit board because of how many times I've pulled it out and then, I blew on it when I was younger like a complete moron. You should only ever like rubbing alcohol or anything like that that's going to clean your contacts. Preferably take it apart. But you can see the discoloration. The circuit board's going to be the same color through and through. And this one is far too light, meaning it's a much more recent process making this circuit. Now, that also being said, there's no scuff marks whatsoever on this thing, so that means that this thing was brand new, never opened before. It would be on sale for a lot more. Now, at this point, everything's legitimately the most obvious thing in the world. The reason I wanted to tell people this video is because you got to be careful if you want the authentic game. Like, if you go to someone that's really serious about collecting Nintendo 64 games, they are probably going to buy it, take it apart, make sure everything in there's good, make sure the labels are good, all that kind of stuff. And then the second they pop this open, they're going to see a brand new circuit board that's got a couple of harvested pieces from a Nintendo 64 cartridge to make the system real. Think it's an authentic game. It just has a ROM flashed onto a new circuit board in there that's about this big. I can put photos up. and show you what one of those circuit boards look like. It's a very convincing cartridge swap trick, but at the same time, I see it as dishonest, and it's an insult to collectors because you think you got something for a steal, and a lot of people would fall for this. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't get one of these if you are on a tight budget and you want to play games like these, and there's quite a few merits to these because I saw a copy of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest version, which was only on GameCube, flashed the ROM over. They turned the ISO of a GameCube into a ROM and then flashed it onto Nintendo 64. So you have Master Quest and everything on it on a Nintendo 64 cartridge, which is incredible because the 64, most of the games only had 32 megabytes of storage, if not less. Some games had 64, Conker's Bad Fur Day being one of them, and that's a great thing. That's great that you want to make homebrew games or anything like that and flash them onto a 64 and play them. Like, I'm not saying that that's bad, but trying to sell a reproduction game and not describing it as such to someone, like, you could say the price is this all day long. You could say it's brand new. You could put all these little labels all day long, stuff that anybody with a brain would be able to say, okay, this can't be an original cartridge. This has to be some kind of reproduction. What bothers me about this particular situation is that they are not describing it as a reproduction cartridge. They're trying to push it as it's brand new. There's no UPC code. It's straight out of China, which is another thing. Again, if it was an authentic game and it was supposed to be an NTC, it would not be in China. It would be somewhere in the US or in Japan. If it was a PAL, it's most likely in Europe somewhere. But you can even see here, Super Smash Bros. Again, a super rare game, $25. Mario Party 3, an ultra rare game for Nintendo 64. Why is it only 25? Bad Fur Day again, it's 27. Mario Kart, 27. Mario Party 1, one of the hardest to get games for the entire system, $25. So that bothers me that people aren't listing that it's a reproduction cartridge, and it's an insult to anyone, like I said before, that is a reproduction cartridge. It's an insult to the collector. Anybody that's just now getting into collecting, this could burn them, and while that might be good to the collectors that are competitive, it's bad because it hurts the community of the collector. Now, like I said, it's incredible that they finally found a way to do this with the Nintendo 64 because there was nothing for years. So you could do it with the NES and the SNES, Sega Master System, Master Drive, whatever you want to call it. We call it Genesis in the US. So if you can do that with all of those, that's all well and good. If you want to make a game like a Mega Man or something and put it on Nintendo 64, by all means you can. It's just don't try to sell it like it's a brand new game. And like I said, don't lie to people. If you don't tell someone the complete truth, I call that lying. So I'm mad about that, but I'm happy that they are making it to where it's easier to get a hold of the game itself, because this game has a cult following and everyone owes it to themselves. If you like games that are just completely crude humor and all that kind of stuff, to get this game, play it. Go ahead and get the reproduction cartridge, but there's nothing quite like feeling the original equipment in your hand, knowing that this is a piece of gaming history and it's really hard to get. There was less than 40,000 of these made, so you're going to find these for ridiculously high prices, especially now that retro gaming is coming into its own again and people care about it and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, guys, that's enough of me kind of ranting for a while, so I'm going to leave you guys with that. Obviously, you can see the address for this page on eBay. Excuse me. You can see on eBay. You can see for yourself, and then you can do some research on reproduction cartridges. Like I said, it's all up to you, but I'd prefer the original hardware. And for the love of God, just put the whole truth about something. Don't just bury it and don't say it's what it is. It's calling it a console card. It's, like I said, it's not honest. Like, someone's gonna see that and think one thing, and it's just wrong, and it bothers me. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, hit the dislike button. If you have a comment about whether you like the concept of reproduction cartridges or homebrews on Nintendo 64, or beta games that were finally able to be flashed in Nintendo 64, say a game that was going to be made for it but got scrapped, and then someone went in, tried to finish it, those are the kind of things I want to hear about and see about and talk about with you guys. So anyway, guys, that does it. I'm done. I'm going to throw the mic down now. So like I said, guys, hit me up on this in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, you guys have a good one.